About a month or so ago, I was seeing comments that was saying that Draymond Green may have been the one that was right in the Jordan Poole-Draymond altercation, because Poole has been playing like an absolute imbecile on the Wizards, and honestly, if the reports of what he was saying to Draymond are true, I don't blame Dre for the punch. I probably would have rocked his ass too. But now, a few days after Draymond got suspended indefinitely from play, I think we all know who was right out of Jordan and Dre. No one. They are both buffoons. Draymond especially. He's an absolute joke. This man is in the midst of maybe his best offensive season since LeBron dropped his nutsack on his forehead in the 2016 NBA Finals, averaging his requisite triple single, but actually on good efficiency. And instead of taking a backseat and trying to figure out with his teammates how to pull the team out of this rut, instead of keeping his head down and continuing to improve his game and mentor his younger teammates, instead of not putting someone in a rear naked chokehold, he put someone in a rear naked chokehold. And then not 2 weeks after that, he punches a dude in the temple. I do not care how upset you are, Clay shooting like Ray Charles. I do not care how upset you are, Andrew Wiggins got his power stolen by the Monstars. This ain't the WWE. I thought your inspiration would be Dennis Rodman, not Randy Orton in his element. And while there is a larger issue with the Warriors, I don't want to say Draymond is a symptom of the problem, because he is not. This is its own thing. Fact of the matter is, in the matter of a year and a half-ish, Draymond Green has full-on Superman punched one of his teammates, stomped on the chest of one of his opponents, put another opponent in a chokehold, and then punched a guy in the temple. I made the joke before, but that literally sounds like the commentary for a WWE tag team match. You should be able to expect your nearly 34-year-old veteran cornerstone of your franchise to have a better temperament than Alec Baldwin. Despite Draymond's buffoonery, there is a much bigger issue with the Warriors though. They just don't have good wings or big men right now. Stephen Curry is having one of the best age 35 seasons ever, averaging 29.1 points on his usual absurd efficiency. Moses Moody is having a solid season on both sides of the court. Chris Paul is playing better than I thought he would at age 38. And their rookie, Brandon Podziemski, is having a very efficient start to his career. That right there is pretty much everyone who is playing at the level I expected or better, and it's their entire guard rotation. The only other players who I'd say are playing objectively good is Dario Saric, who is having a nice renaissance season, Gary Payton, who, surprise, surprise, is out indefinitely with an injury, and Draymond Green, who's racking up more assaults than Klay Thompson is playing like he forgot how to shoot. Andrew Wiggins is playing like Jimmy Butler is on the team. Jonathan Kuminga is fine but very inconsistent. And Kevon Looney is Kevon Looney. Y'all can talk all you want about his defensive positioning and him being a solid rebounder. I am not getting bricked for Kevon Looney. I'm sorry. So Dario Saric is essentially carrying the Warriors' entire front court on his back when he shouldn't have to. It should not have been this way. The Warriors had all the tools to create a bridge from the old dynasty to a new one. And they did build a bridge, but it's looking like this. And it's all because the Warriors could not capitalize on their draft picks. The most critical years of the Warriors dynasty, the ones where the life support started, were 2020 and 2021, because in those years, they had the 2nd pick, the 14th pick, and the 7th pick in the first round. And with those picks, with that absurd draft luck, they got James Wiseman, DeAndre Ayton Light, which is a wild statement, Jonathan Kuminga, who we'll see about, and Moses Moody, who we'll also see about. Now, I'm not going to harp too much on these picks. I'm not even necessarily saying it's their fault. If you look at those drafts, there weren't that many players around their picks that you can definitively say would be better than who they chose. Sure, Şengün was drafted right after Moses Moody, but there were a lot of questions about him entering the draft. Sure, the Warriors could have drafted LaMelo Ball or Tyrese Halliburton, but again, they both had some serious questions, and Wiseman was seen as a can't-miss prospect. Sure, Franz Wagner was drafted right after Kuminga, but the draft is such a crapshoot that I'm not even that mad about that. And this is also really early into these guys' careers, so it would be foolish to write them off already. So I'm not really upset with what the Warriors did. What I am saying though is if you wanted to extend this thing 5, 6, 7, 8 more years, then you had to take LaMelo Ball at 2 or trade down 4 to 8 spots to get Tyrese. You had to draft Wagner at 7 or Şengün at 14. If you are a rebuilding team with a lot of young players, then you can afford shooting at average in the draft, because you will no doubt have a lot of chances in the lottery, and all you need to do is hit on a couple. If you are trying to extend a dynasty though, these lottery draft picks are absurdly important because they are the only way to get good talent at a relatively cheap price. And if you are in a dynasty, you usually have very few picks in the lottery, if any. If you are blessed with a lottery pick in the midst of a dynasty, then you have to get a prospect that is playoff ready in 1 year and not 4. And when you can't do that and the team doesn't break up, then eventually Father Time starts to win. I previously said that Klay Thompson is playing horribly, and he is. But before LeBron James made us think all basketball players have Benjamin Button's disease, 33 going on 34 was about where we expected star players to start to fall off. And that's not even taking into account the fact that Klay suffered 2 of the most gruesome leg injuries any athlete can suffer back to back. If the Warriors wanted to continue this dynasty, then Moses Moody should have been ready to shoulder more of Klay's load by now. Pause. Draymond Green looks the best he has offensively in years, but defensively he has taken a bit of a step back, and mentally he has clearly gone fully senile. If the Warriors wanted to continue this dynasty, then Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman should have been ready to tuck Pop into bed and give him his dementia medication by now. Stephen Curry is playing exceptionally well, not even taking into account his age, but you cannot continue to expect this play from a 35-plus-year-old man. If the Warriors wanted to continue this dynasty into the future, then Jordan Poole would be sitting at the ready, prepared to take the torch. But none of this happened, and I would just like to emphasize that the Warriors didn't do anything wrong. There's a reason why we don't see a lot of 10+ year dynasties in modern basketball, because that ish is tough. The balancing of egos, drafting the right players, literal dumb luck with injuries, or just sometimes the way the ball bounces in a pivotal game. To expect the Warriors to extend this thing further without a rebuild was a tall ask, and frankly, getting as far as they did was an excellent job already. But to reach that next peak, they had to be exceptional. They had to be perfect. And they just couldn't do it. What's up, Sweatshoppers? Thank you for your viewership. If you've watched this video this far and you like the content, go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. If this is your first Sweatshop video, go ahead and click on our channel. I'm sure you'll enjoy all our other videos. And lastly, we just wanted to thank everyone that's been showing all this love on our videos. We know that relatively speaking, it's not a lot of views. We know relatively speaking, it's not a lot of likes or it's not a lot of subscribers, but just seeing these heartfelt comments that are complimenting our work on our videos just further stokes our motivation to continue this grind towards creating a community we're proud of on YouTube. So once again, thank you. And lastly, for our returning subscribers and people that are thinking about subscribing but just aren't quite sure yet, we wanted to give you the lowdown of content you can expect in the future, because we think we've kind of hammered out what we want to get out of our channel. So first off is videos like this one, 8-minute long-ish videos on certain happenings in the NBA or breakdowns of certain NBA teams. Originally, we had these videos as highly edited content, but because we have so many different types of videos we want to produce and at a high rate to contribute to the growth of this channel, we actually ended up deciding to lower the editing quality of these videos just so we can get them out to you sooner. That's not to say the quality of all our videos are going down. That's just to say we're focusing more on the editing quality of videos in other categories. For instance, videos like the one uploaded just before this one, the Sweatshop OT. This is the Sweatshop's own take on the podcast format. We wanted to record a podcast just between the two of us, but this format is already so overplayed, especially in the sports sphere on YouTube. So we put our own little twist on it. We ended up recording audio for a podcast, but instead of posting the whole thing, we cut it into 10-minute-ish segments and added highly edited visual content over it to kind of make the commentary a little bit more palatable for both the viewer and for us. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, go ahead and give our last video a watch and leave a comment on what you like about the format and what you think we can improve. As far as we know, this hasn't really been used before. Synthetic Sports does something similar to this, but it appears for them it's a bit more scripted. So we just wanted to know how we may be able to improve this type of format and push it a little bit further. The next Sweatshop OT video you can expect from us is a breakdown of the Milwaukee Bucks, what we think of them and how we think they can improve in the future. So go ahead and stay tuned for that one. And the last type of video you can expect from us is the highly edited investigative video. These videos are going to be 8 to 10-ish minutes long, and they're going to be a deep dive into a certain sports topic that we're truly passionate about. We're already working on the first video that will fit into this category, and it's a deep dive into the NBA draft, as well as a video documenting how we created our very own metric. So once again, thank you for your viewership. If you like the content, then go ahead and subscribe. We got a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe, and most importantly, stay sweaty, ladies and gentlemen.